Boosman is the GOAT. Can nobody do it like him, regardless? Chadwick Boosman freaked out Disney execs on Black Panther set by always speaking as T'Challa. Ryan Coogler told them he don't turn it off until we rap. When an actor got it, then he's that character. Sinners director Ryan Coogler appeared on the recent episode of The Breakfast Club and spoke highly on the late Chadwick Boosman's commitment to his craft. Coogler directed Boosman in Marvel's Black Panther. The two were in development on the sequel when Boosman died in August 2020 at the age of 43 from colon cancer. Out of all of my actors, Chad's death actually hit Michael B. Jordan the hardest, Coogler said. Chad was older than us. He was quite a bit older than us. Even though he looked like he was the same age, he was a fully baked man from the South basically. He was an old school man's man, and compared to that dude when we worked together, bro, me and Mike was kids. And it really good to show you that when it comes to Chadwick Boosman, like he had this old school mentality, which I respect the most, from somebody who was in their 40s. But when he got the call to play Black Panther and Captain America Civil War and Secret Wars, the Avengers Secret Wars, and the Avengers Endgame, even in his own movie. This is how you know Chadwick Boosman made an impact in the black community when it comes to the Black Panther character. When I saw this nigga put on a suit for the first time, my heart immediately dropped because it was something about his performance as T'Challa that made me love Black Panther more. Even though I'm still saddened about his death in 2020, which still rocked the world, especially Disney, but I still remember him as an actor who gave us his all in the entertainment industry. And he said that one man that inspired him to want to act was Denzel Washington. And it really goes to show you that even Chadwick Boosman did not really sell his soul for fame. He did what was necessary to bring characters to life. James Brown, the famous black baseball player, Black Panther, of course. I mean, the guy was the GOAT. I still miss him to this day. Chad changed my life. He was the kind of teacher who you never knew you was getting a lesson when he taught. Coogler added to the late actor. It was all by example, and what he gave me and Michael was patience. He moved at an old school pace and he took his time. He was always early. He was that type of dude. And Mike would tell you this. I told him, man, I said, hey, bro, what would Chad do in this Sinner's role? If he had this role, what would he do? Because Chad never broke action. I heard that this movie is doing good, so I'm going to check that movie out when I get a chance and tell you my overall review of it. Because every time I see clips of it, I think of Chadwick Boosman too, and I agree with him. Like, what would Chadwick do if he actually had that role? Because knowing how talented this nigga was, I think he would have been amazing as the main character. Just think about that for a moment. If he would have had that role to be the lead star in Sinners, even though I respect Michael B. Jordan for being the main character and putting some respect in that name and making it look cool, I will always have a back of my thought of what would Chadwick Boosman do if he would have stayed on Earth and wouldn't have died of cancer, and he would have had that role particularly. Coogler acknowledged that Boosman's work ethic was to immerse himself in the character, so much so that he adopted T'Challa's accent for the entirety of the Black Panther shoot. He was talking in an African accent, Coogler said. Disney execs came to see us on Black Panther. It was week 2, and they pulled up, and it was the T'Challa accent, and they were freaked out. It was like, don't be freaked out. He's working, man. He don't turn it off until we wrap it up. Because when somebody, like I said, when somebody who has that much of a talent that sounds like a person straight out of a comic book done right, that's how you know that you got yourself a star. You got yourself a franchise. If he was here right now, Coogler would have made the sequel. But too bad the sequel wasn't exactly what I expected. Even though they were based on the comics, but it just wasn't the same. And when I saw Wakanda Forever, it was just not the same. I was turned off. I couldn't last 10 minutes watching it. It just felt off to me, honestly. Even though they did a good job of honoring Chadwick Boosman's death, but how they wrote it, it just gave me the ick. I'm sorry. Jordan played the villain, Eric Kilmore in Black Panther, so he got to see Boosman's commitment up close and personal. According to Coogler, it was Boosman's work ethic that allowed Jordan to lock in and play twin characters and centers. When you have someone like Chadwick Boosman, who is not only the GOAT that changed MCU forever of how you represent African characters, African American actors and characters in the history of Marvel Comics, and if you bring one good talented actor like Chadwick to play certain characters, you just knew that things were not going to be the same. Because once he put on that Black Panther suit, because this is when he was sick at the time, and he didn't look like he was sick. He looked like he was healthy, losing weight, and really finding out about his cancer diagnosis of why he was going through until I was watching Tyrone Madness's video when Chadwick made a video about one of his favorite authors about the book he's read. And you notice that he was getting thinner. It wasn't from working out. It was because he was sick with cancer. I had no idea this person was going through all of this sickness when he was diagnosed in 2016. And he battled this thing for almost 5 years now when he passed on, when he couldn't take it no more. And you notice in the 2020, it being an all-star game, when he hit LeBron James, he was like skinny, long hair and everything. They didn't show shots of him. I think paparazzi was taking photos of Chadwick Boosman in the hospital, looking like he was on the verge of death. That's how scary it looked. And his skin was all pale. He looked like a junkie. That's what people portraying him as a junkie. But they don't know that the actor who played Black Panther was sick in real life. They all said the same thing when actors go through sickness and health in life. They just see one photo and they assume that he's a junkie, a drug addict. But you don't know what they're going through. But that's besides the point. At the end of the day, Chadwick Boosman, he paved the way for a lot of these African American actors to want to play these iconic comic characters. I wish that it was a different male actor to play Black Panther from an alternate version, from an alternate universe, then I think they would have had the same effect Chadwick Boosman had when he was Black Panther, but was also fighting for his life. But he gave it his all, and he brought it to life. So that's just my take on it. So what are your thoughts on this, man? Let me know in the comments down below. I'm gonna holler at y'all.